Hey guys, this is probably coming up a little bit later. I'm Holden Hardman, so nice to be here. We're doing a little bit of a live stream, and boom. I'm getting a little bit more used to OBS, so I'm trying to make it so that we can maybe do some live reactions or do some fun stuff that maybe we couldn't have done before. We are also doing a fundraiser for our friend Natalie, who's been on the channel many times. She's done kind of a reactions with Jen. Her sister tragically passed away yesterday after a long battle with cancer, and they set up a GoFundMe to kind of help with burial costs and stuff, and we've contributed, and so that's one of those things that we're going to try and do here. So in lieu of doing any super chats or anything on the stream, I'll be keeping an eye out for anybody that contributes anything over to that to help Natalie out. So I'm going to go ahead and link the, not my stream key. That would be bad. But the link here in the description. I hope you guys are all doing good. I actually just created a bit.ly link right before this, and I already took that away. Oh, here we go. All right, give me just a second, guys. Boom. So yeah, in light of in lieu of doing any super chats, feel free to donate towards that. If you do a super chat, I will forward that over to them. Just keep in mind, like the way that YouTube works, like we get paid like at the end of every month. So I guess technically it would be tomorrow, and then YouTube also takes a cut of it, and you know it can be a logistical thing. So it's not impossible, but it's just easier to go directly to that. Anyways. So many of you guys are here. Let's see how y'all are doing. I'm using OBS. I'm not super familiar with OBS. I'm starting to get a little bit better. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can like review comments on it, so I'm not like looking way over here the whole time. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Pavenmeyer, how's it going, buddy? It's going good over here. Jen and I have watched Alice in Borderland on our own time. Are we going to do a Thunderbolts reaction? Yes, we've actually just finished the Captain America, the brand new New World Order or whatever. That's what it was originally. Dang it, Brave New World. I don't know why I'm struggling on that one. Yeah, so we've watched that. That's going to be on Patreon tonight if you'd like to check that out a little early. We have not seen the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I'm actually pretty curious about that one. Excited for Superman and Fantastic Four. Yes, I saw a little post today. I don't know how true this is. I did not fact check this. But I saw that David Corenswet, who's playing Superman, he said that his favorite superhero growing up was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So I was like, okay, all right, well, David, perhaps I judged you too harshly. Not that I judged him harshly to begin with, but I love that. Holden. First time I've caught a live from the UK. You and Jen are amazing and love your content and outlook on life. Thank you. Inspired myself to pursue my own YouTube stuff, so thank you. Sending over love for Natalie. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Really awesome that you finally were able to make a live stream, especially out in the UK. It's Monday night here for us. Yeah, if you're joining a little bit later, Natalie, who's done reactions with Jen in the past, and we've been trying to actually coordinate more. Like we wanted to do other Harry Potter movies, the two of them, with Jen showing Natalie. Her sister unfortunately passed away yesterday after fighting cancer for many years. So in lieu of doing any super chats, I'll do my best to read as many as I can here. But if you would like to donate over to them, any amount, you know, it doesn't matter how small or anything, would be very helpful to help cover funeral costs and just help the family out. Do you have plans for Squid Game 3? Spoilers. Spoiler alert, we have filmed all of it. That's right. I've actually been working most of today, and had a couple editors help me out as well in trying to make sure that we're releasing those very quickly. So the plan is actually to release the entire thing this week. Full length reactions will be on Patreon though, starting tonight. Actually, it'll probably be tomorrow morning. It takes a while to actually render them and to upload and post them. So if you'd like to watch all of season 3 of Squid Game with us, check it out on Patreon. I love BBC Sherlock, Aaron, and we started Severance, but I think we finished. There's 2 seasons, right? I think the second one just came out that long ago. We got like halfway through the first season, and we have not finished it. But super cool premise. I really have been enjoying it. Mr. Turney, thank you so much. Holden, have you watched any Game of Thrones? If not, would you consider it for the channel? Yes, actually, Jen and I both have. And so, like, Game of Thrones is one that we've talked about quite a bit because she's seen a couple seasons and I've seen a couple seasons just independently. And so we were like, well, if we watch it, we'll have to basically do a rewatch of several seasons before we start getting into the newer stuff. I think I got past the Red Wedding. I remember that, which I think was season 3, and I got into season 4, and I think that's roughly where I stopped. And she, I think, I got at least a couple seasons under her belt. So, this is one of the problems of not faking reactions is trying to figure out how to navigate stuff that we have seen some of, but not all of. But yeah, every once in a while we'll get people that will want us to watch Game of Thrones, and it's cool that Squid Game is coming. Any plans for Andor or Last of Us season 2? Yeah, so Squid Game we really wanted to watch on our own, and it was only 6 episodes, so it was a lot. Like we binged it pretty much over the weekend, and so like our attitude towards doing TV show reactions has kind of shifted because there's such a time commitment. Both in shooting and on the back end of like editing them, and it's so hard to know what will or won't do all that well. And so we're thinking about leaving TV show reactions exclusively for Patreon, so that the fringe people, like we did not Andor, Arcane that way. We did 2 seasons of Arcane exclusively on Patreon because we don't know how well it'll do on YouTube, even though it is popular. But that way. We're putting in all the time and effort, and then people can become a Patreon to watch that, or they could spend like a smaller amount to just have access to that and not worry about like monthly recurring fees or anything. And that turned out to be a good for us in that way. So I think if it's like a show that we want to watch or that we can get to quick enough, like I wanted to make sure if we did Squid Game, we had to get to it like right away because some of the popularity of like The Last of Us season 2 has already died off, so we'd be going in late, which is pretty common for us. And the same thing with Andor, still good, but it's not as much had we got on board like right away. And so that's another thing to consider. So there's that's technical stuff and the downside of kind of doing stuff this way, but all that to say, yes, we have not watched it on our own time. I'll say that purposely so that hopefully we can watch it a little bit later. I hope you and your family is doing well. Any update on when Dragon Ball is coming? That's actually a pretty good example because we're probably only going to do Dragon Ball on Patreon. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, because it's anime. And Dragon Ball and Toei Animation has had field days with people in the past, not just doing copyright claims, but copyright strikes, which we want to stay far away from. And if we do it on Patreon, we can just show more of the episode, like because I upload directly to their video viewer, so it's not even through YouTube at all. So I can show more, which is less editing time for me or whoever's editing it. It's probably going to be me. And I can make it affordable. I don't have to. It's not going to be $60 or anything. It's just a couple bucks. Make sure that it's worth our time doing that instead of movies, and you get more out of it. So that's kind of where our thoughts are. Have you considered Ted Lasso for Patreon? We need to do another TV show poll. The reality is that we've been trying to do more, we've been trying to just like film more stuff and like more movies and cranking those out. And then it's really all comes down to time. Because keep in mind, one season of a TV show that's like 12, 13 episodes is, so if one season's 12 episodes, they're each an hour long. A movie roughly is 2 hours. So, I mean, how many movies could we fit in the place of a TV show that may not perform all that well? And we've tried and we've done it, and there's been all kinds of suggestions for things, and um, we have done shows that we just wanted to watch. Squid Game is kind of a good example of that, as well as the Dexter Original Sin was one we just kind of wanted to watch, and Dexter Original Sin did not do well on the channel, so a little bit of that. Keep in mind, for all you guys that are newer on the chat right now, we're also doing a partial fundraiser for our friend Natalie, who does reaction videos with Jen from time to time. Her sister passed away yesterday, unfortunately, after a battle with cancer. And so they have a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs and just, family support. And funerals are super expensive, and so any support would be great. In light of doing any super chats, I appreciate those of you that have done super chats, and we'll make sure those are contributed towards Natalie's family. But if you would like to help out, that would be a great way to do that for her and them. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes reaction. Jen and I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in theaters. We saw it. I couldn't wait. I really wanted to watch it. We had just done like the series, and I couldn't help it. However, Matt has not seen it, and we did the Planet of the Apes movies with him, so maybe we'll do Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes with Matt next time we get a chance. We were actually on a pretty good roll there with Matt doing My Friend Watches for a little bit, but he gets so it's not really him. We got so busy that it was hard to. It's gotten a little bit harder to sync up again, but we're trying. He's out of town right now anyway, so you see what I mean. Thoughts of, thank you guys, by the way, for these super chats. Frank, I appreciate it. Thoughts on Doomsday and Secret Wars. I am really excited. I'm super excited. I'm optimistic. I mentioned earlier in the stream that Jen and I had watched Captain America, Brave New World, and we're going to be doing Thunderbolts when it comes. I think it comes out tomorrow for like you can rent it for like $25 or something. And I know I'm wanting to do that one, even though it underperformed at box office. But I'm wanting to do that one, and I'm hoping that they're good. I know that there's a feeling sort of like grasping at straws or like going back, going backwards, bringing in Robert Downey Jr. and some of these other probably teaser characters to try to get the Marvel train going again. And I really want it to be good. I really want it to. Excited for Superman, and your thoughts on the new DCU. I am very excited for Superman. I saw some like preliminary reviews of it, and how it was. Somebody said that it was like a live action Superman the animated series, and I think that's great. A lot of the clips that I've seen are very like James Gunn style humor, like it's sort of this quirky style, like Crypto, and I'm trying to keep an open mind. I really liked Henry Cavill. I'm not a Snyder bro. I'm not a Snyder apologist. But there's some things that I think he did really, really well. I mentioned, I think in a Patreon live stream, somebody asked a similar question about the Superman movie. And my honest thoughts were, after watching like the trailers and just like select clips that they pulled in promotion of it, some of the cinematography that they've at least displayed has not been as good as maybe some of the other Superman movies. That's not to say that it's all going to be that way. I'm not hating on it. I'm just giving my subjective opinion on an aspect of logistics of how the movie seems to have been shot. Not performance, not story, not any of that, or even VFX. But that's just a preference thing. James Gunn does like a lot of like wide shot, like zoom in things. And you saw the shot. People were making fun of it because of his eyes or whatever. But like, he really likes those shots. And when he had, I forget the guy's name, in Guardians 3, Adam Warlock, the way that he was flying, and it's like, right in these, fly. That's very James Gunn style of like how to film flight, Superman flying. I did like a lot of the Henry Cavill flights in Man of Steel and some of the Justice League stuff. And I also was looking back at Brandon Routh's Superman Returns, like the whole airplane crashing scene. I was like, dang, that was nice, And so I am optimistic that it's not a deal breaker by any means. There's a lot of things I'm actually really excited about the way that they are at least presenting how the movie is going to be, or certain aspects of it. So I am excited. I want it to be good, and so fingers crossed on that. You guys going to check out Transformers 1? If there was ever a movie we're getting bullied into watching, it's probably Transformers 1. Not saying you are, Adam. Thank you for the super chat, man. But yes, it is on our list now. Nobody's letting us forget it. So we probably will end up doing it just because there's been so much push for it. Have you ever thought about bringing back the morning vlogs with Matt? Thank you so much, Adam Gregory, for that question. Yes, of course. Honestly, Matt and I would do a lot more stuff if it was just timing. Our schedules are so are so conflicting right now. For a while, we were doing a lot more My Friend Watches together recently, and the reason it's kind of dissipated a little bit more recently is just because of schedules. Like we're just so busy, and it's hard to just have this like perfect alignment. We were for a little while, and we're gonna try again too. Matt's also got some stuff kind of going on in his life. Nothing negative or bad or anything, but that is requiring a little bit more of his time and attention. And I'm trying to help him just when I can with that kind of stuff. That's personal friend stuff and not, YouTube stuff. So everybody's got a lot of stuff going on right now. But anyway, all that to say, yes, once we can get some of that stuff ironed out, I know that Matt would love to do more. Not only movie reactions, but little projects like that. Tyler, thank you so much. $20 super chat. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you. Hey, Holden, really appreciate everything you and Jen do. Absolutely love all the reaction videos and all the vids. As a fan and short filmmaker, do you have any plans on making more short films? Yes, 100,000%. I call it the itch, like the filmmaking creative itch, where if I don't do something creative, after a while, I just start to go crazy, and I can't, and I have to make something. The big thing is, as you know this as a short filmmaker, any filmmaker really, is like money, time, and logistics. And that's always been the biggest thing ever. And after we did Star Wars, that was kind of like a proof for me that like, hey, I can make some decent stuff if I really had resources and access to it. And filmmaking is also not a one-man band project. I mean, that Star Wars would not have been as good were it not for the VFX guys that helped, particularly Devin, who did like a majority of the opening space battle stuff. And he did a lot of the music too. So like he was super instrumental in like being collaborative with me on that. And, it was awesome. So anyway, yeah, I meant to talk about my Spider-Man one that crashed and burned and kind of what my plans are going forward because I still want to do one. I would like to do some original short films, but as you know, nobody cares, about original content. But we don't do it for that. We do it because we want to tell stories, and it's just in our makeup to do stuff like that. So anyway, yes, there's also a documentary I've been meaning to wrap up forever. I had some other documentaries on the channel several years ago, and we've already shot like a good bit of it, and so I just need to sit down and kind of crank that one out. But thank you for that question. Thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. I'm getting a little behind on these, so I'm going to back up and try and knock some of these out. 10 pounds. Thank you so much. Is that still another super chat? Thank you so much. Idea, do a roulette of all the movies you've been requested to watch. You and Jen spin it at the start of the clip, and then it's a surprise for us like it is for you. Find out what you're going to watch. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would also love to do like live stream movie reactions. We've done one in the past. We did The Martian. It was one that we'd both already seen, but we had it like blurred out kind of in the corner of the screen with like a timer so you could like sync up with us. And it ended up kind of just turning into this where the movie was playing in the corner, but we were just like interacting with people the whole time. But that is a really great idea. I love that. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. Another $5 super chat. What obscure 90s cartoon book would you like to see done today in live action? My two would be Animorphs. I thought Animorphs already was live action. And Gargoyles, 90s book or cartoon. I'd really have to think about that. The 90s cartoons and stuff that I really got into were things that were kind of already based on other properties, like the Spider-Man animated series or even Dragon Ball or this is not 90s, 80s, but like I love the real Ghostbusters, Tom and Jerry, like kind of things that are already like so popular. I really wanted Yu Yu Hakusho, and that was made into a Netflix thing, and I only saw like the first episode of that. So I mean, there's not really one that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to see that. I might not be thinking of one. If there's one that's like, hey, Holden, what about this 90s one? I might be like, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's a great idea. Yeah, I saw rumors that Michael Bay was coming back to direct another Transformers 2. You and Matt have a dynamic like me and most of my friends. They may not care how much I nerd on the specifics. The love of good friends saves us all. Yeah, dude, 100%. My relationship with most of my friends is like that. Like we, you've seen me and Matt and the other guys on the channel and how we interact. We're just bros hanging out and giving each other a hard time and being inappropriate sometimes and pushing our luck, and I love it, man. It's good to have friends like that. Kung Fury, 30-minute long and free on YouTube. You will love it. I think I actually reacted to that years ago. Let me see. Kung Fury, Holden Hardman. I feel weird like YouTubing myself. Yeah, me and Jeremy did it 5 years ago. I'll tell you what. Hello, everyone. I'll do you one better, and I will link it here for you. Kung Fury. Boom. Yeah, I think Jeremy showed it to me. It was edited down. It wasn't the full thing. All right. I'm trying to get caught up on these guys. Also, I do landscaping. I'm not a super big Star Wars fan, really just Anakin as a character. But I've been listening to your Clone Wars playlist at work. Oh, very cool. I have thought, let me know what you think about this. I pitched this to Jen. I tried doing it around Christmas time, and I had basically a render fail. But I wanted to render out basically all of Clone Wars and or all of the live action Star Wars reactions and or all the MCU reactions. Like my wife watches, and my girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend/my wife watches the MCU, and basically make it like one giant supercut of who knows how long that would be, a really long time, and then put it on YouTube kind of like this as like a live stream, like a broadcast that just broadcasts it through. And just so like you're not picking you just like hop on if you just want it to play in the background, it's there. I thought that would be cool, but I don't know if that's something that people would be interested. Thank you so much, Chris, for that super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. I want to get to some non-super chats here in a second, so let me get through these last two. Isaiah, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. What's a movie you and Jen haven't seen that you would like to react to? Had you asked me that question like 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have more answers, but most of movies that we've kind of reacted to most of them that she and I both haven't seen. The only thing I could think of are like movies that are coming out in theaters. Like Sinners was a really good example of a movie that like neither of us had seen and we really wanted to watch. And fortunately, it came out like where we could rent it. It was like $20 or $25 to rent, or I don't remember if we bought it or rented it, but it's like really expensive when it first comes out because it's still playing in theaters. But we wanted to do it for the channel, and that was a pretty good example of that. There's not a movie that comes to mind that we both haven't seen that we would like to react to. Only because I've like watched most of the movies I've wanted to see. There's a few that are going to be coming later that Jen will be showing me for the first time. Thank you for that super chat. Well, that's another super chat. Thank you, man. Thoughts on the Spider-Man 94 comic book that is a continuation of an animated show? I am familiar. I can't wait. Whilst also nervous they ruin it a bit. I'm excited for it. I saw kind of like what you're saying. I'm aware that they're releasing it. I saw some of the cover art and some of the other stuff about it, and I love it. I want it to be really, really good, and thumbs up. There's been like several different shows that they've done stuff like that with. Samurai Jack, I think, was one that they had a comic book run. Leave me a comment on the side, guys, if you're familiar with other like continuations through the comic book medium. But anyway, waffles or pancakes? Waffles for me. Explain. Just a preference. I don't know. It's not that deep. Favorite video game? Legacy of Goku 2. It was the first game I ever like physically owned. My dad got it for me when I was like 11 or 12, and we were visiting some of his family in Ohio, and it was on a Game Boy Advance, so it had the little light. So I remember doing the road trip and having that, and I played that game a ton. We didn't have a whole lot of money, so the games and even like the toys that we had, I had to like make them last. So I had Legacy of Goku 2 and nothing else for probably years. And eventually I would get a GameCube where I would play the Spider-Man 2 game, and that's the only game I ever had. So I just played that over and over and over. And so Legacy of Goku 2, and then Boost Fury would come out 2004, I want to say. And I got that a little later, not right away, but I played that too, and I loved them. And they're just nostalgic, like purely. I don't know how most people think they would hold up today. I don't really care. I loved them. So that's probably my favorite game. A lot of personal reason, and just love that. Are you going to react to Squid Game Season 3? Yes, we filmed all of it. We binged it, and we'll be releasing those this week. Full-length reactions will be on Patreon, starting most likely tomorrow. But we're going to try and get those cranked out quickly, too. So, yay for everyone wanting to see us watch Squid Game. Here's another side note about that. The struggles of trying to do like the video production side. So we filmed episode 1, totally fine. The next day, we filmed episode 1, and then that night I filmed something else, but without my lavalier mic. And my lavalier mic takes a very specific gain input from my camera, so I didn't use it, so I increased the gain pretty high. But I forgot to bring it back down for the next 3 episodes. And so we filmed the next 3 episodes, and I go back to like listen or like import it, make sure everything looks okay, where we in focus, out of focus. And the audio just was like really bad. Now, luckily, the mics that we have actually are supposed to help with like not clipping, like because the gain's really bad. And we can fix a little bit of it in post, but we can't make it sound perfect. And so that really irritated me. And then I fixed it for the final 2 episodes. But anyway, that really annoyed me. So just a little tidbit of what it's, having to do that kind of stuff. Hey, Michael, doing good? Rockstar. Hey, Holden, been a while. Good to see you. Noah, have you ever played Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, of course, man. I played the first 2. I think I started 3, but I was, but the first 2, yes, 100%. Love them. If you're just now joining on the stream, we're doing also a fundraiser for Natalie, who does reactions with Jen from time to time. Her sister, unfortunately, passed away yesterday, and so they're doing a GoFundMe to try and help cover funeral expenses and some family costs that are associated with that. So I appreciate all the super chats. Any super chats you give will designate to go over to Natalie and her family. Just keep in mind that super chats, YouTube does take a substantial portion of it. It's like 30%. So GoFundMe does too in the end. But if you would like to help out with that, that would be greatly appreciated from all of us. And I know her family definitely would appreciate that too. Did you and Jen finish all the Conjuring movies? We did watch up to... We watched the Annabelle movies. We watched The Conjuring up to The Devil Made Me Do It. We watched that one. And we did those off channel. So I don't, maybe we shouldn't have. That was just one of those things that we just wanted to watch. So yes, we have. Flat Goose, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. What are you more excited for, the new Superman movie or Fantastic Four? Also, I just wanted to mention I'm a big fan of the renovation videos. Thank you so much, man. Those are always really fun. I've seen some comments of people being like, Holden's trying out this new thing, these new non-reaction things. And it just makes me laugh because most of my content, I think we finally topped it now. But the first, 7-8 years of me doing YouTube was non-reaction videos. They were like little skits and little commentaries and little, these piddly little things. And so if anything, I'm kind of going back to the kind of stuff I was doing before. But most people, they're not aware of that. And I don't even want you going back and looking at those videos anyways. They're not very good. But I just thought that was funny. But thank you so much for being a fan of those. I really enjoy. I like doing the kind of the vlog thing and sort of the day in the life. It's like what YouTube was kind of supposed to be originally, like the you in YouTube, instead of kind of what we're even falling into, where it's like a business. It is how I provide for my family and stuff. So I have to have some like business mindset. But when I can do those as well, I really do love it. Thank you for that super chat, man. Appreciate that a lot. Wow, an incredible $10 super chat. Thank you. Master Chef Photography, doing good. Appreciate it. Nice guy. Have you seen The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2? Best Batman movie, in my opinion. And thoughts on The Chosen? Great questions, man. Thank you so much for that super chat. I saw the first Dark Knight Returns movie. I'm assuming you're talking about the animated one. And I have not seen the second one, but I did buy it on Blu-ray years ago for it was like $5. I think that when we end up finishing or getting close to finishing the DC AMU movies that we took a hiatus from, I would like to do some non-DC AMU animated movies. Dark Knight Returns is in my mind to do, as well as people talking about Mask of the Phantasm, which is the Batman animated series universe, but also Under the Red Hood is one I've seen. I would like to do The Killing Joke. I remember seeing The Killing Joke in theaters, and I had read the graphic novel. We even based our Batman short film on like the excerpt at the end of The Killing Joke novel. And I remember hating the Barbara Gordon change up. I have no idea why they did that. It felt really weird for them to make that choice. But anyway, yes, I have not seen both of them, and I would like to do it on the channel at some point. Thoughts on The Chosen? I haven't watched The Chosen. My buddy Gus and we filmed back in November a video of him showing me The Chosen, like a reaction, him showing me. And it was like an episode he picked. I think it was the one where Jesus heals, I think he heals the guy at the pool of Bethesda. And we only had time to film one episode, and Gus chose that episode, and I remember really liking it. I kind of gave sort of my input on like what I thought about The Chosen as a whole. I'm really indifferent about it for the most part. From what I've seen, it's brought a lot of people interest in the Gospels, which I can't fault at all. But I do know that some of the creative liberties, it's like when you watch Harry Potter, the movies, and you mistake things, thinking things were actually a part of the original story that weren't. And so because I take the Gospels so seriously, my only concern would be that people, for one, start picturing Jonathan Rumi as like Jesus when they pray. And the other thing, that some of the creative liberties that they take, which I don't mind in storytelling, really. So it's not really a fault so much. It is just like I hope that doesn't derail anything. Would be that the creative liberties they think are actually canonical scripture when they're not. Not that, and I know that there's like a disclaimer, like, hey, there's some creative liberties, look at the Gospels yourself. But that would be my only like concern. And the episode I saw was good. I know they got into some like the zealot stuff a little bit that wasn't, accurate, but it wasn't so far out there. That's kind of just my general thoughts on it. But I can't fault it for giving people interest in Jesus, man. So great for them. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Hopefully that answered your question. Do you and Jen plan on watching him season 2 on the channel? I'm not sure what you mean. I was trying to think. I was like, The Last of Us season 2 and/or season 2. I'm not sure what how I met Grandma. Somebody help me out here. Thank you for that super chat. I'll try and find the answer to that. It's probably something super obvious. I'm just not thinking about it. Either way, and/or and Last of Us season 2 is a solid maybe. A lot of wonderful ones here. Killing Joke was good. Misunderstood. Killing Joke is better as a novel, to be honest. If you do the TMNT movies with Jen, we will. You'll also do Batman and TMNT animated movie. We could. I don't see why we wouldn't. Another $10 super chat. Thank you, Chris. I don't know how many times my phone pocket switches to your MCU videos with Matt, but I still listen and it helps pass the time at work, so I'd watch. Talking about the broadcast. Also, the phone game dramatic promo you did was great. Yeah, man. Thank you. I have another one coming up. For those of you, I'm gonna get in trouble for this, guys. Look, I'm trying to be diplomatic about this. If you don't know, in June, there's usually a decrease in. I'm trying to figure out how much I want to pull back the curtain here. In June, there's usually a decrease in like advertisers paying for ads. So like when you watch YouTube and you get an ad that pops up and the content creator gets 2 cents or whatever it is for that, there are highs and lows that come with that. So like in June, there's usually a dip. Come like November, December, Christmas time, when advertisers are pumping out because they want to sell their stuff, it's usually more. So we could have, theoretically, more views in June than we do in December and make substantially less money. So June is usually a time, come June, is usually a time when I try to take on more sponsorships to kind of help supplement that. And so, AFK Journey, great game. They reached out and, they, offered me a little bit for that. And I was like, shoot. All right. Cool. The next one that's going to be coming, I'm sorry. I hope that, look, it is what it is. I'm being honest. I'm telling it how it is. The next one is Marvel Strike Force. And so funny thing about Marvel Strike Force is that I was sponsored by them like 2 years ago or something. And I actually got really into the game. I got like real talk. I got like super engrossed into it and leveled up really high. And it, I ended up like spending money on the game. Nothing like, I'm not a gambler. I don't have that mentality, but I was spending money on the game, like I wanted to level up. And, I was like, okay, all right, enough of that. And, but I really enjoyed playing it so they actually wanted to do another one of those, like just a YouTube short type of things. And so I'm like, I re-downloaded it and started playing it again. So that one, I was like, what? I actually really did enjoy this one. So I'll feel a little bit better about that one. AFK Journey, I really had no experience with, and I have to be, I hate to be like, what? It's, and I looked up reviews too, and a lot of people actually really enjoyed it. So that's, I try to do my due diligence, and I have rejected sponsorships in the past, but Yeah, I'm just saying. There's been some. There's been some. I will say, like the main ones that we do on the channel, I really, I enjoy, and a lot of it we've done like Factor and Thrive Market is good, and we have one for the Apis bike one. They didn't even pay me for that. The Apis bike, the electric bike sponsorship I did. I don't know if you saw the ad or not. And Valerian, they sent me a projector and a screen. Neither of them paid me, but they sent me the stuff for free, and so I did that. I think I got a commission for it, but it's really, really minuscule, and a lot of times nobody even buys the stuff. So if any of y'all rat me out, I swear, I swear, I'm half joking. Okay, look, we're having a good time. It is what it is. I know most of y'all just kind of understand that that's sort of the game of YouTube, at this point. We appreciate you making the ad reads interesting and entertaining. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I try to make them fun and engaging, and just having fun with it. Nothing wrong with hustling for money. Feeding your family is important. Yeah, I mean, we got to do what we got to do. January and February is killer. The June was great for us. Rookie numbers compared to Holden. Yeah, January is actually a really big drop. It's after Christmas. So, Zach's $10 super chat. Thank you, man. Hey, Holden, can you and Jen please react to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? It's an incredible show, and it's probably the best MCU show. Even if you think it starts out slow, please stick with it. It's amazing. Thank you for that super chat, man. We've had a lot of people over the time tell us about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I will say, some of you guys were asking about TV shows. I guess you included. We will be doing The Punisher at some point in the near-ish future. We just finished Squid Game Season 3. It's way shorter of a show. I'm not anticipating Punisher doing well on the main channel, and we probably won't be actually like releasing any edited version until like way down the line. So my plan is to just like release as we watch them, kind of leisurely on our own time, but to release the full-length reactions on Patreon until we're more or less done, in which case I'll begin releasing edited versions for YouTube, like significantly cut down, just because we want to watch it anyways, and Jen has been dying to watch it. And then if you're wanting to watch it early or like longer, you can help support the channel and, watch it. You don't have to, I'm gonna make it so you don't have to become a member of the channel. It'll be, I don't know how much it'll be, like $8 or something, just to have access to the whole thing. And, so that helps support us. You can have like 2 seasons worth of stuff to watch along with us. So anyway, as far as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we've put it on Patreon polls in the past and it's never quite won. But people keep bringing it up. So I feel like it's kind of one of those inevitabilities that at some point we'll end up getting to. Would you do any more gaming series? Yes, I really want to do Halo 2. I've been dying to do Halo 2. We just have to have the time to do it. And hopefully it'll be soon. Because I love doing Halo 1 with Jen. It was a lot of fun. So Halo 2, I'm hoping we can do together. And Jen is doing better about... she really, if you watch like Halo 1 to now, she's really progressed. And I think like it's not overly like complicated. Like when we try to play The Last of Us, where there's like all these different features and you have to equip this gun and equip the ammo and then you go over here to equip other things. That's a lot. We're kind of used to that as modern gamers, but I think that's like an easier, it's an easier curve for kind of more of a beginner. Anyways. Are you going to finish the Mission Impossible movies? Yes, we are. $5 super chat. Thank you, man. I'm sorry for their loss. My dad was just diagnosed with cancer, and we have been working through it. Thanks for all the content you give us. God bless. Thank you so much. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, too, about your dad. If you're unaware, this is also part fundraiser for Natalie. Her sister just passed away yesterday from cancer. We're trying to help raise some money for her to help cover funeral costs and just general funds for their family in relation to that. I hear what you're saying, man. My dad had cancer. He died in 2018, and the anniversary of that is actually tomorrow. So, I hear you. And, man, cancer sucks, dude. Cancer absolutely sucks. So I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully your dad is able to beat that. It's not impossible. People do it all the time. So just keep positive. And thank you for that super chat, man. What was the sponsor you said in the Valerian video that you didn't like and sent back and rejected the sponsorship? It was, you know what? Hang on, I actually have it. I forget the name of it. I thought I had something that still had like a label of it, but it was like it was like these VR glasses. It was like glasses that you wore, and it was supposed to like, I guess augmented reality glasses, and you could have like a desktop that would like show up. You kind of would have to do this to kind of see it, through the glasses, and you had to have it like plugged into your phone though, like manually. I didn't know that when I first agreed to it, but I was like, okay, not a deal breaker, just a little clunky. It'd be cool to just have the glasses and you're done, kind of like what Meta's doing with their stuff. I forget the name of it, and it was like really expensive. And then I started looking up reviews from other people, and they were all having issues with it. I was having issues with like just getting the thing set up. And I think after so much trial and error, and after seeing like so many people, I was like, if I actually pitch this and promote this to my viewers, and they get it, and then they hate it, and it just makes and I have them burn a couple $100 buying it, I would feel so guilty. So I sent it back, and I was just like, hey, I appreciate it. I don't remember the name of the brand, to be honest. I was going to say Rococo, but that's actually a motion capture company that I've been looking into. But it's something like that. It's not Rococo. It's something like that. But anyway, that was the one I was referring to. 22 Jump Street has been on Patreon for like a week now, man. It will be up publicly this week. And the full-length reaction's up too. Another super chat. Thank you so much, man. Is Matt coming back to the channel soon? Also, recently watched your Hocus Pocus reaction with your daughter. Any plans to have her join again? Well, thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate it. I mentioned earlier that, yes, we want to do more stuff with Matt. It always comes down to scheduling. As far as having Savannah join, she was in when we watched 8th Grade like a month or two ago. That's the most recent she's been on. But I typically don't feature them so much. It's funny because every once in a while you'll see like my son Hero, or you'll see Fox or Savannah periodically like in a short or something that we'll do, and I'll inevitably get people accusing me of basically using them for monetization. Nobody comes to this channel to watch a family vlog. It might just be kind of like a little perk of the time. Like when it snowed in Florida, I was filming like a little family vlog. But I get kind of annoyed with that. But for the most part, though, I typically try to separate them from like our main source of living. I'm not that, what's that chick called? It actually infuriated me. What's her name? Ruby Frankie, the chick who like was abusing her kids, and she did a family vlog or something. There was like a Hulu documentary, Jen and I watched about that, but really, really made me upset. And so I'm not opposed to it. Obviously, I've had Hero on the channel and whatnot before. But I want to distinguish that they're kind of just every once in a while and kind of relevant to what we're doing kind of in our natural life anyway. I'm not forcing like content based around like, oh hey, we need to do another family vlog soon, let's do this. It might be like, hey, it snowed in Florida and the kids are home for the weekend. I film everything as it is. That's just, I've always done that. I just happen to do YouTube as well. So I can make a little fun memory for us as a family that some of you guys get to enjoy too. Anyway, that might be a longer answer to your question than you were intending, but yeah, they'll all show up again at some point. And if it's like when we did 8th Grade, I think we brought her in specifically because she was in 9th grade, or she's in 10th grade now, but so she's in 10th grade, but 8th Grade was a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? So just got her kind of modern Gen Z opinion on 8th Grade and how it related to the movie, so it was relevant. And anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. Yes, you'll see them again just from time to time. When are we getting Punisher series on the channel? I mentioned earlier, thank you for that super chat, by the way. I mentioned earlier that we will be filming it soon-ish, and we probably will just be doing it leisurely on our own time, and I'll be releasing the full-length reactions on YouTube, or on Patreon, excuse me, as we do them. And then it probably won't be until we're pretty much done with this series before I start releasing edited versions on YouTube. Otherwise, as we watch them, if I edit them, it might be a week or 2 weeks before the next episode, and we're not anticipating the show even doing well on YouTube. So that's kind of why. So that way, once we're done with it, I can kind of just release it all at one time. So those of you that are actually interested can get it quickly, and those of you that aren't interested can kind of just like get through it quickly too. I have no idea, Colin, if we're going to be watching Superman in theaters or not. This has kind of always been the struggle with kind of what we do. So I don't know. And sometimes it just works out like where we just don't get a chance to go to the theater to watch a movie during the week. And then we just put it off and off and off. Like Sinners is a good example. I actually really wanted to watch that one just in theaters and just never got a chance to, and just saw that it was streaming. So we did it for content. But I don't know. I feel like it's one that I probably should see in theaters. But we might hold off. Have we been to Halloween Horror Nights? Yeah, we actually did a live stream last Halloween there, man. So yeah, I had a really good time. We didn't do a whole lot. We did like one of the haunted house things there, but the lines were like over 2 hours long, and we had spent a day at Universal Studios like that day, so we were already pretty tired and walked out, and so we just sort of walked around Universal Studios and sort of interacted with like the interactable things from scary movies, and that was a lot of fun. But we only did one of the haunted houses because I didn't want to wait 2 hours for one of those. Next time, I might go. If we were to do it again, we'd have to. You got to do like the fast pass system, and I didn't want to do that. Couple more super chats. What would I have to do for you guys to react to an animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man? Jen and I are actually talking about that because you know how we have the Spielberg tier? It would be something similar to that, to where like if there's a Punisher, don't do Punisher because we're already planning on doing it, but a show like that, like where we probably wouldn't think to do a reaction for it, but somebody's like really wanting us to do it, we'd probably have a Spielberg tier to help compensate the time it takes to shoot and edit something like that. So we might be doing something like that in the future, but in the near future. So we're just trying to figure out like how we would do it logistically, and I don't want to put something up there that's so expensive it just feels like I'm, trying to rip people off or anything, So and that's the concern. I don't ever want people to feel like that. So we're trying to come up with something for that. I do want to suggest K-pop Demon Hunters. It's been doing really well for reaction channels. I haven't seen it, but I've seen it promoted. I don't know. Would you consider, for those of you that know what that is, would you consider that to be up my alley? Because I think K-pop, and I'm like, I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I'm that demographic. You know me, I'll watch anything. I'll give anything a chance. But and then Demon Hunters is about as generic anime as thing as you can get. No disrespect to K-pop Demon Hunters. Hey Holden, love the video. So I was wondering if you ever considered reacting to the Maze Runner series. Yeah, when we were doing more of like the book stuff, we did like Hunger Games, and I think there was a couple of like book things. Maze Runner was on that list. Tell me how you think that would even do on the channel. But yes, yeah, I think that's going to be one we'll do eventually here too. I have not seen Megan 2.0. I saw Megan, and Jen and I both really liked it. You have to enjoy Superman in theaters. That's tough, man. That is really tough. We actually, do you remember during like COVID time, we rented out a theater to do Back to the Future with like a big group of us. The theater rental for that time, it was like $100. So we paid $100 and we had all of our friends come, and it was a lot of fun. Now they're not really doing them as much because more people are going to the movies, and any new releases are all like $360. So that's out of our price range, especially for a movie. But I was hoping that might have been an option for stuff like that, like things that we want to watch in theaters. Anyway, Ian. $10 super chat, no question or anything, man. Hopefully that wasn't an accident. I'll keep an eye out for if you have any question or anything that didn't go through or something. Either way, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that a lot. Big fan. Chloe, thank you. Big fan. Not only are your videos entertaining, but you seem chill. If I'm ever in the Pensacola area, I'm still down to get a beer, talk philosophy and religion, and then watch some Star Wars. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am a pretty chill guy, I think. We've always joked that like, sometimes when you do YouTube, you see like people do YouTube and they get like, I don't know how to put this, like a JoJo Siwa, Logan Paul type of energy. And, when we film, whether I'm filming with Jen or we're filming with Matt, we try to like crank it up a little bit so that we're like, okay, we're here to film, doing the intro. Hey guys, it's me, Holden. That's actually too much. I don't even know if I do that much, but we just have fun, and we do try to like crank up the energy, but I'm always like me. And I try to be like very, like, that's really important to me that like I'm still myself. And some of the reactions actually kind of depend on that, because think about like when you watch movies yourself, sometimes like you're in like a really good mood. Sometimes you're just kind of chill. Shoot, you might even watch movies when you're feeling kind of low, or just kind of in a funk. Sometimes you're watching movies when you're excited. And so it's no different for us. So, sometimes we're a little bit more energetic. Sometimes we're more talkative, doing more commentary. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes the movie elicits emotional response that makes us more quiet. So there's all those types of things. But anyway, love to talk. Love talking philosophy and religion. So we'll definitely love to do that. Thank you for that comment. Whew. Yeah. Are you going to react to scary movie series? Maybe with Matt, since he's not big on horror movies, he may appreciate a parody. Let me see if I'm allowed to. If I'm allowed to tell you something. Hang on. Give me just 2 seconds. Okay. Where? Okay. Because you're on the live stream, I'll give you this little bit of information. We, as fate would have it, Derek Barnes, we just watched the first scary movie yesterday. So it was actually with Jen. We are going to do, I don't know if we're going to do all of them. I would like to do at least the first 3, but we did the first one. That will be coming soon. So enjoy it. I have a small list if I ever did the Spielberg tier, but that's impossible right now. Don't ever feel like you have to do that. It is a lot of money. And oftentimes, like we had one guy that had us requested a movie, and we were straight up like, "Hey, dude, we were already planning to do this one. Is there another you would like us to watch?" And so there was, and if not, totally fine with refunding you. And so the way that Patreon works is that they pay it and then they can request it. But I have the power to refund. So I was like, if not, totally cool, no harm, no foul. So it's totally cool just to let me know, like, recommendations, but keep in mind that we get a ton of them, so we try to make everyone happy, and sometimes doing that, you make nobody happy. And Ian Austin, another $10 super chat, just to tell me this bald-faced lie that Naruto is stronger than Goku-san. That's okay. To be so wrong. I don't know where this is going, Ian. Thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I haven't seen Naruto. I had friends that watched it that, like, around the time that Dragon Ball Z came out. I do not think that he is stronger than Goku, but maybe that's up for debate. I don't know. Are you recognized around Pace, Pensacola, or Alabama, or while on vacation? Every once in a while. This is actually kind of interesting because before I was doing reaction videos, I started doing local parody videos. So I had a pretty good, my quality of video was decent. Not as good as it is now, but I could make a decent video. And so I would sort of spoof on local things. And then I delved away from that and started doing reactions, and more people saw that. So I actually got recognized a ton more then than I do now. But I do every once in a while get recognized now. I think the moment that I felt like, oh wow, I don't consider myself famous. I consider myself selectively popular to a specific niche, but when I got recognized outside of my home state was the first time I was like, whoa, this is wild. And that was cool. And it's always super humbling. I don't think, I could be wrong. You have to ask my wife and Matt maybe, but I don't think it ever gets to my head. I just get like, whoa, this is so cool, man. I had somebody who was nervous meeting me. And that was, because I'm a normal guy in my mind and in reality, I'm just like, hey, yeah, dude, nice to meet you. And I try and be, friendly and chatty and stuff. And I thought that was cool. It's a super cool feeling because I feel that way, when I go to cons and meet, people that I consider, famous or popular or whatever. So that was cool. Anyway, so I do sometimes get recognized around here. It's sometimes weird interactions, I remember I hadn't showered in the morning one morning. I got up, I got the kids off, and I just had to stop by the store. So I'm greasy and my hair's all messed up, and I'm just looking like a slob, getting some fruit or whatever. I don't know what we need, milk or something. And somebody recognized me and wanted to get a picture with me. And if you wake up and my hair's all greasy, I'm getting greasy now, because it's getting late. So imagine this throughout the night. And I was like, oh man, a picture. And I don't want to be the guy who's it's gotten to Holden's head. He wouldn't even take a picture with me. I'm like, okay. It was all good. If I really didn't want to, I wouldn't have. But I just thought that was a funny situation of oh yeah, I guess let's do it. Oh, and a guy recently at Chick-fil-A in Pensacola recognized me and wanted to grab a picture with me. So that was really cool. Anyway, I'm getting stuck up on these stories, guys. I'm missing these comments and super chats. Paul, Bros for Never, thank you. Been watching you since quarantine, and yes, we would love K-pop Demon Hunters. Maybe not the songs as much, but story-wise and comedy-wise, yes. Awesome, man. I would definitely love to check that out. Holden, for your comedy run, please show Jen the Melissa McCarthy movies like Spy, Bridesmaids, and The Heat. Also show her Just Go With It and Blend It. I actually really want to watch The Heat because we're really big Sandra Bullock fans, and I thought she's hilarious in that movie. I remember seeing Spy. I thought it was okay. I don't think I've seen Bridesmaids, and I haven't seen Just Go With It or Blended myself. So, but since we have been on this comedy run, I wouldn't mind doing some of those. We might put those on our list to do. There might be somebody else had a comment earlier about movies that neither of us have seen. Maybe one of those. Holden, I wrote a story, named a character after you. Well, thank you, Snug Snow Snail. I appreciate that. Hopefully he's awesome and the best character in the entire story. But thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate you telling me that. No accident. I wanted to send 20, but forgot the message. Well, thank you, Ian. I appreciate it, bud. Are we getting Andor Season 2 and more Star Wars shows soon? Acolyte and Ahsoka? We did Ahsoka. We're caught up on Ahsoka, I think. Andor Season 2, yeah, that's one that I really, really want to watch, but I feel like we kind of missed the height of the show, and we're kind of running in late because new stuff is coming out. Last of Us was coming out around the same time, and now Squid Game Season 3 is coming out, and then Dexter Resurrections, which we really want to watch because we're big Dexter fans. That's coming out in like a week or something. And then Acolyte, when did Acolyte come out? There was some reason we didn't do that one. 2024. I don't remember why. It wasn't because of any of the controversy stuff, but there was some reason we just didn't get around to it. And, that's one that I was hearing all this negative stuff about it, and it really just kind of wanted to form my own opinion. And sometimes my opinion is kind of where everyone else is at. Some might even be harsher. And sometimes I act in opposition. I'm like, hey, guys, I really don't think, I think we're thinking, looking too into this, or I really think we're being too harsh in this area, or what. So I really wanted to give Acolyte a chance, and I just never got around to it. And I don't think it would perform well on the channel at this point. I think people would just hate watch it, or they might be curious about what I thought about it. But other than that, showing Jen DBZ Abridged when I think she'd love it. I don't think I'm going to show Jen DBZ Abridged first if we do it, only because so much of DBZ Abridged humor is based on your knowledge of the original series. Not all of it. There's they're kind of like their own quirky characters and story in its own right. But maybe I'm being counterintuitive, thinking that we'd have to watch the original before we were to do that, or if you think Jen would enjoy it on its own merit. I would be in the camp of saying probably not at least without seeing the original series. But let me know. I could be wrong, because we have had a lot of people that suggest not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I think you would at least like K-pop Demon Hunters. Maybe not love it when there's a reason, but there's a reason reactions have gotten 200,000 to 300,000 views. Yeah, very cool. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I would love to check it out. The Heretic, that's one that I've been hearing that people have been wanting to see my opinion. I think a lot of people want me to watch movies like The Heretic or Dogma, Kevin Smith, because of the religious implications, to see how I would react or even respond maybe to some of the issues or the points of view brought up in those that sometimes are anti-religious or sometimes are anti-Christian specifically, or pose valid questions, or sometimes just poke fun at it. I haven't seen Dogma, but I would imagine there's some poking fun at it, and so people are maybe curious to see how I would react. Would I be really offended? Would I, just sort of, be nonchalant about it? How would I respond to that? So I think that there's some people who are just interested in that aspect of my personality. Heretic might be one of those. I've heard it's about Mormons that get kidnapped or something. And I'm not a Mormon, but how would I respond to maybe some of just the broader religious themes brought up? I don't know. Are you going to do Doctor Strangelove? I have no plans to do it. We don't get a whole lot of requests for that one. Is there voting on Patreon also? Yes, but it depends. It's from time to time. Whenever we do a new show or specific movies, we'll run a poll. So it's periodic. We've done a few more live stream recently on Patreon too. Is it okay to ask for religious advice? Sure, I'll do my best, man. Here's some advice. Always go to, at any point that you're struggling or even not struggling, make sure you're working on your relationship with God too, no matter what you're going through. Goku is stronger. Thanks, guys. This is how far back I'm getting because I mentioned the Naruto Goku thing so long ago. Your Team America reaction was so funny. I think that's probably the hardest I've ever laughed on the channel. I couldn't. Oh my gosh, man, that thing was so funny. How would y'all feel if I did another reaction to that with Jen? Because it's so immature and South Parky humor to where like me and Matt can just like die laughing. But it's such a different dynamic with like your girlfriend or fiance or wife, versus like your immature buddy, So, but man, that was so funny. That was such a funny, that was such a funny reaction that we did. Derek, man, I feel like scary movies 1 through 4 were solid. Have you and your wife watched the Scream films? Yes, we've seen all of them. As a matter of fact, Jen showed me a majority of them, if not all of them, after we had met. We didn't do them for content or anything, but yes, we have definitely seen all the Scream movies. Maybe Matt would enjoy them as they're more mystery than scary. Big fan of your channel. Thank you so much, Derek. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully we can get Matt getting some more free time soon so that we can do that kind of stuff. Because we were on a good little run there for a bit, bringing back My Friend Watches. So hopefully we'll get to do more of that. Jonathan Beeson, the first time on a live chat. Well, welcome, man. Oh man, I'm gonna run through some of these super chats, guys, because I do want to get to some regular comments too. After scary movies, are you going to dive into Meet the Spartans superhero movie? Not great, but possibly so bad it's funny. I would like to. I remember watching like Epic Movie when it came out. That's sort of in that spirit. Even Not Another Teen Movie is sort of in that vein, But yeah, I would love to do more of those like bad spoof movies. Those like late night, I got them on DVD and then just, put it in my DVD player in the mid 2000s. Heck yeah. Just wanted to say, keep up the once every now and then vlogs. They're great. Have your proposal cruise videos saved? Have your proposal cruise videos saved as one of my favorites. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. I love doing them, man. But to be honest, like our lives aren't that, like those are more like exceptions to the rules, going on like cruises and doing that kind of stuff. That's not like our day-to-day life. I have no idea how like travel vloggers can like afford to live that, afford to do that nonstop. But so yeah, like when we do that stuff, I love to vlog it. And then like special circumstances, like me working on my garage is not necessarily a special circumstance, but it is like a project and like me learning and something that like I'm just like personally interested in. So I'm sharing that, thinking that nobody would really watch it. Except for maybe some guys like you who are just like interested in seeing kind of more of our day-to-day lives, like who we are as like people. But thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. I'm curious how hard it is mentally doing reaction channel full time with the views constantly going up and down. That's a great question. We've I don't know how to put it. Yes, we've had to be careful about how it affects us. Like, I don't ever really like talking about this kind of stuff because of the nature of what we do. It sounds so petty. And, I don't ever want it to come off like we complain about what we do, because we have the privilege, and that's how I view it, as a privilege of watching movies and being able to do this, even though there are logistics that people may not consider, like the editing or the copyright stuff or the time it takes to do stuff like that. Nobody really cares ultimately when it's like, because you boil it down to, well, you're still watching movies, aren't you? But yeah, I mean, we are constantly like aware of that because like we have to make money to survive, and Patreon's probably the most like consistent form of income. Not only income for us personally, but because we pay Devin and we pay a couple editors too, I feel a responsibility that, I want to make sure that we make enough to not only provide for us, that we can also pay these guys who are putting in all this work for us, and pay them right away, and so there's like a minimum threshold to be able to do that. So we are like constantly looking at views, and YouTube has this horrible thing now where I say that half sarcastically, where it ranks your video's performance against like the previous 10. And so like I'll post a video and it'll be ranked 10th, and for some reason that stings, it's like, oh, nobody cares about this one. Nobody cares about this movie. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is, man. I've been doing this so long that I can kind of anticipate and, figure out how to kind of get around certain things. But yeah, and Jen and I are like, we're a real married couple. And so we are always like checking in with each other and like, making sure that we're okay. Like, how are you feeling about doing stuff today? And we have like we have like an actual like schedule that Jen works on, like of our, like when we have appointments with the kids, our own appointments, when we're filming when I can have time to edit and work on stuff. So we actually treat it like it's, like it's a job and a business, which it is. Yeah, we're always we're good. I don't know if that's kind of your question. Like we're good, but there have been times where it's just like, man, I just really don't feel like, hey, I'm Holden. Thanks for. I'm just not in that mood today. Again, I don't want it to sound like complaining. It's absolutely not. But you asked. You know what I mean? Thank you for that super chat, man. Appreciate that. Hey, it's Seabass from Orlando. Really big fan. Just wanted to say, hey, Sebastian. Good to see you, man. Appreciate that. Some people were asking about being recommended before or recognized before, and Orlando is a place I've been recognized more than I realized. In regards to my DBZ Abridged comment, a lot of other reactors I follow, like Blind Wave or Ishinobi, watch DBZA with zero DBZ knowledge and love the series. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. I could definitely see that. Would Jen be that way, though? Would be my question. Holdy Pie. Oh, jeez. So glad you're here, DGMC. Thank you for the super chat, man. How long would Jen have to do the British accent at home for her and us to get that Netflix Punisher react? 26 characters left. We are going to be working on it soon. Somebody else had asked about that earlier. And the plan is for us to basically watch it leisurely in our own time and release the full reactions on Patreon as we do them. And then more or less once we finish the series, do we start releasing edited versions on YouTube? Only because that makes it so that we don't, we're not feeling like rushed, or, we can kind of keep it at our own pace. And then when we're finished, release it kind of relatively quickly. But we will be doing it. How do you know which Bible to read? I believe in God, not humans. You don't believe in humans? That seems counterintuitive. How do I know which Bible to read? You want to go back to the closest translation of the original that you can. I actually was just having a conversation about this the other day about like the different like English translations and like how they're different purposes. Like some of them are kind of written to kind of get the gist of what's going on. Some of them are like trying to be a direct one-to-one translation as best as possible. Some of them try to account for contextual differences between 2,000, 3,000 years ago versus the way we perceive things today. So I don't think any of them are bad per se, as long as they don't directly contradict the actual manuscripts that we have. But I would actually recommend trying to learn the differences of them and why they're relevant, and kind of go from there. Let's see here. Hopefully that addressed that. Editing takes long. It's typically, general rule of thumb is that editing takes about 3 times as long as the source that we're watching. So if we're watching a 2-hour-long movie, it'll take about 6-ish hours to edit it to completion, more or less. So that's general rule of thumb. There are some variation there. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes, if it's like a movie that we think will perform fairly well, we will... we'll spend a little bit more time on it and try to add some more jokes and do a little bit better color grading, stuff like that. Chloe, thank you. For the cause, give Natalie my regards. Yes, thank you. So this stream is also part fundraiser for our friend Natalie. You've seen her on the channel. She's done reactions with Jen. She did Monty Python and Harry Potter. And her sister, unfortunately, passed away yesterday from a long battle with cancer. And so they're trying to raise some money for funeral expenses and just to help the family out during that time. So if you would like to contribute to that, there's a link in the what do you call it? I pinned a link to that. So that would be a big help. Any amount is great. Doesn't matter how big or small. Feel free not to do a super chat if you would rather contribute that way. That would be wonderful. But thank you so much, Chloe, for that. I appreciate that a lot. Dustin, are you planning to react to X-Men 97 eventually? It's my favorite Marvel cartoon, and it seems like everyone who's seen it loves it. I think that I will absolutely love it. I did a video, I think when the trailer came out, talking about X-Men 97. I have not seen it yet, and I would love to. It kind of goes back to the TV shows being just harder to produce on the channel, just the amount of time it takes. So we're like extremely selective over TV shows that we decide to do on the channel. Have you and Jen watched any of the Step Up movies? I have. I don't know if Jen has. I have no idea if how those would react to it. Your edits are excellent. Thank you. Well, we actually have some variation in some of the edits because it's not just me and Devin editing anymore. We have a couple other guys that help from time to time, and I kind of delegate depending on the movie. Like the videos that like I really want to be clean, like the best, I really send to Devin. He is the best editor aside from me, of course. No, he's pretty good. He might even be better than me now, but he's fantastic. And but some of the other ones that maybe not as much, I might send to some of the other guys, and then I will edit from time to time too, just to try and get like more videos out there. So you might notice some variation, and some of you comment like, I think, what was it? I don't know if it was Galaxy Quest or maybe it was Real Genius. That's a perfect example, like where the audio, like people were commenting that the audio was too low, and I agreed, and so I make sure to bring that up for the next edit to that particular person who edited that video. Rockstar, got it yet? Hope you and family are well. Have a good night. You too, buddy. Thank you so much for this. It's a $20 super chat. What about Bob? Funny movie, man. Have you ever thought about doing social experiments like the ones on YouTube channels such as Humor Bagel or Gilstrap TV? You've got a natural sense of humor, especially when you're reacting to movies. It really shines through. Thank you so much, man. And thank you for that super chat. I have, yes. There's pretty much nothing that I have not like wanted to do. Remember, like reaction videos were not like the first thing I wanted to do on YouTube. I was doing like all kinds of other stuff first, and that's kind of where in order to be successful on YouTube, pretty much anybody that has any level of success on YouTube will tell you that you really need to niche down. My niche has really become these reaction videos, but ultimately I was doing more of like variety type stuff. I was kind of doing a little bit of everything. And so, I had thought about, I tried at one point to delegate sort of an Impractical Jokers style thing with me and Matt, where our wives would tell us basically how to interact with strangers, or we'd have some sort of goal that our wives would tell us like what to do. So like they would like call it like wife control or something like that, or spouse control. I don't know what we'd call it, but I thought that would be funny, like where Jen could tell me what to do in a public setting, and I would do it. And same thing for Matt. And and that's very like Impractical Jokers, like in its essence. And I wasn't really comfortable with trying to do like a one-to-one. So I would want to do something that would be differentiating enough that wouldn't feel like the same thing. But yeah, ultimately, yes, I would love to do stuff like that. And ethically too, social experiments. I don't know about the channels you mentioned, but I don't like it when people, you know what I mean? Like people are just kind of mean, or they cross the line in the name of a prank or in the name of a social experiment. So I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, but I don't think that's what you're even asking for, or even asking. But hopefully that answers your question, man. Thank you for that super chat, man. That was really wonderful. Is Holden down to watch some hood movies? What would you say is a hood movie? The answer is yes. I'll watch anything. But that was just really funny reading that. If I may ask, how old was Natalie's sister? She was in her 20s. I do know that. Let me see. I think she was like 27, 28. I mean, young. I mean, too young for sure. Nice guy. Another $20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. If you do an anime, I highly recommend Vinland Saga. I think Jen would like it a lot also. It has no right being so good. Lots of Christian themes. And sorry for your friend's loss. Condolences to all affected. Well, thank you so much, man. Well, I appreciate that suggestion. And I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much for that. I actually have never heard of Vinland Saga before. So I'll definitely check that out, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Let's see here. Devin, after hearing that. Oh, yeah, I quit. Devin wants to raise. I pay Devin the most out of all the editors because he is the best. I know that might be that might be pro capitalism. I don't know, or anti. I don't know, but no, he's the best. I pay him the most. Mike TB, highly recommend doing the Kevin Smith universe of movies. I feel like you'd appreciate his self-made movies and humor. Also been a fan since the Sean Schemmel video of 2019. Was that pre-COVID? Yes, it was pre-COVID. I think it was 2018, actually. And I still talk to Sean Schemmel from time to time, too, which is wild, which is super wild, man. But yeah, I'm a fan of Kevin Smith. I don't know how to put this. I kind of got Kevin Smith fatigue after a while, where he was just like there was nothing pop culture that he wasn't featured in. And I kind of was like, why is why is he the authority on so much pop culture stuff? But he's like well liked by people like us. And I'm not no shade against Kevin Smith. I think he's great, and I love his story about like making Clerks and the whole why he did it in black and white and instead of in color and maxing out his credit cards. And hear him talking about like filmmaking and like the process and what he had to do to like get started and so no shade against him, but but yeah, I would definitely be up for checking out more of his stuff. And I haven't seen a bunch of his. I've seen some of the Jay and Silent Bob stuff. But anyway, Holden should do a James Bond marathon. We did all the Daniel Craig ones. Craig. Do you watch any favorite YouTubers? Do you have any favorite YouTubers you watch? Great question. Yeah, I have been watching less and less YouTube in general, just TV in general. But I was a big fan of Corridor Crew. There's this guy, Drew Build Stuff. I started watching not that long ago. Partly because as I was doing like home renovation stuff and like learning more woodworking, I was like looking up videos and various things, and some of the stuff that he was making and his temperament and attitude is kind of similar to mine. So I've been watching him, and he did like this whole thing, like making how he makes stuff, and so he's somebody had been watching recently, and but I kind of ebb and flow. I kind of will kind of get into somebody and kind of move on to something else, and kind of get into that person, and then kind of move on to something else, and that's kind of my MO. But and then I'll kind of go back and like Corridor Crew, I've watched a lot of, but I'm way behind on some of their videos. But I'll go back and watch like a recent one if it pops up. Do you like Dogma? I haven't seen it. We actually talked about it a little bit earlier on the channel. I like Moist Critical. I don't watch him like regularly, but yes, I've seen some of his stuff. Please get Jen and Matt to watch Clerks 2. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Clerks thing at some point. Are you excited for the Odyssey? Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Hey, I set up a thing here so that I could react to something in real time. If there's anything on YouTube that's short. That you might be interested in doing a reaction to. We can maybe do a reaction live here. That would be kind of fun. Yeah, yes, no, maybe. Does Matt have a favorite franchise of films that I haven't seen? He likes, there was one movie we did on his channel about, what was it called? Goon, hockey. And so he showed me that, and I actually really liked it. I don't know if there's a series or a franchise of films that Matt's seen that I haven't seen. But we'd probably be surprised, some stuff that he likes. Jen has watched Spaceballs, Zach the Gamer. Thoughts on Michael Bay returns to Transformers? Makes sense. That's what he's good at. People make fun of him, me included sometimes. But my guy knows how to make a turn-off-your-brain action flick. You know what I mean? So no shade against him, and he knows how to make that bread. Get that bread. Get that bag. You know what I mean? So I'm not, like, am I surprised? Not really. Thank you, Joe, for this super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. Enjoy your reaction. Some older films can do well on the channel. Godfather 1 and 2, classic sci-fi, for example. We've been actually having some more some like older movies in our list that we're going to be doing soon. And depending on the older film, like it'll do well. I think Godfather would do well, and Godfather is one that I actually haven't seen, despite the Morgan & Morgan ad we did, where I act as him. Or act as one of the characters in that movie. But no, I actually have not seen Godfather 1 or 2, so that might be a fun one for me to do as well. The acting is a bit wonky. Most of their actors don't feel like they belong in their corresponding roles. I hear you there. I hear the critique. My attitude about that has kind of changed over time because I've seen and have participated in complaints like that. Like, for example, when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, I was like among them, like, oh gosh, what are y'all thinking? What are you doing? I have since kind of and Robert Pattinson as Batman too. That was the first time I was like, I don't personally see that. But everyone was hating on that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see how this goes. And I thought he did a fantastic job. And, as more of these instances come of like castings that I'm like, that's a little odd on the surface. I'm kind of in agreement with everyone. When I actually see it, it's really not that bad. It actually is good. I think the female Silver Surfer is kind of a good sign of that. I forget her character's name, but I was kind of also like, why in the MCU are we not doing the main, like the one that everyone knows. Is this just, trying to appease to a demographic? Is this, checking off the boxes of things that we need to have in the movie? And then you see, and so I was like, okay, I'm not going to think that. I'll wait till I see it. And then we see the trailer, which I herald your beginning. I herald Galactus. And I was like, oh, okay, I actually like this a lot. So when it comes to the casting and Odyssey, I don't know about it. It might even be bad. I'm like, you know what? I'll wait to see how that plays out, because I've been burned. I was burned too many times with Ben Affleck, and that was kind of like, I want to learn my lesson and not do that and just actually give them a chance. Now, that being said, if they're not good, I'm happy to say that, YouTube reaction to Little Britain, Mr. Doggy. Okay, let me see what this is first. This might have been a bad idea. Some British comedy. You know what? I may have to resend that because I can't actually screen any requests now that I think about it. Well, thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. I might check that out a little bit later. And it's copyrighted too. That'll probably get claimed because it's from a TV show, it looks like. Would watching a movie like 2001 be off-putting to you? Like 2001: A Space Odyssey? Also, have you seen Westworld? No, I haven't seen Westworld. I don't know. I don't think 2001, if that's a space odyssey you're talking about, would be off-putting. I'm not sure why. I've seen it before. It's definitely a slow burn by today's audience retention time. But I wouldn't be opposed to doing it on the, especially on the channel. Yeah, playing a dangerous game there. $10 super chat. Thank you. If you could send thoughts and prayers to the families of the firefighters up here in Idaho. Okay, yeah, we definitely will do. Has Jen started Dragon Ball, or does she intend to in the future? Thanks for all your content. Well, thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. We are going to hopefully be doing Dragon Ball in sometime in the near future. Just keep in mind, much like with Clone Wars, it's going to take a long time to get through it. I'm actually planning to do it in sagas so that we have some like level of, we're doing it in kind of batches for Jen, for Jen's sake. Because keep in mind, like, we love Dragon Ball, but we're kind of more the demographic for Dragon Ball. So hopefully Jen will really enjoy it, but she might not. She enjoyed Avatar in The Last Airbender. So have you watched the Agent Cody Banks franchise? Yeah, I have. Fun story. This reminds me, there was a theater here in Pensacola called the Silver Screen. It was like a discount theater. They had like tables and chairs, and they'd like bring you food, and it was like really like obscenely cheap. It was like $3 or something to like go to a movie. The concessions were like really cheap. It was like this little privately run family theater. It's now closed down. But I remember seeing Agent Cody Banks in that theater, and the film strip during this scene where he's like crawling through an elevator shaft, or he's crawling through like a air duct or something. It's like at that scene, and the film starts to like burn, and you can like see it because they were using like projectors, like old school projectors. And it, I remember seeing it like rip and deteriorate, and it took them like 20 minutes to like fix it to finish off the showing. But that's when I think of Agent Cody Banks, I can't help but think of that. Do you think you'll react to the Green Book or Captain Fantastic? Love your channel. Thank you so much. I don't know. We don't get a whole lot of requests for those. Super Bear Jew. Thank you for the super chat. I've heard of Captain Fantastic. Let me look it up real quick. Just make sure I'm talking about the right thing. Not Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, yeah, I was definitely not thinking of this. And then, what was the other one? Green Book. Hopefully I'm not thinking of Green Mile. Oh yeah, Green Book. I really wanted to see that when it came out. 2 Viggo Mortensen flicks, huh? Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. We don't get a whole lot of requests for them. I'll just be honest with you. Have you ever lightsaber dueled? Yeah, man. I've done like 5 videos of doing lightsaber dueling. I got like 4 of them over there. I had a Star Wars short film recently. But yeah, Do you mean like in a professional context? No. For fun, of course. Love your vids. Are y'all brave enough for Terrifier? Terrifier. Oh man, we've talked about doing Terrifier on the channel. I know that I think the third one just came out recently, and I remember starting it. I forget the context. I don't think I didn't start it with the intent of finishing it. It was kind of like I got like 20 minutes with a buddy, and we're just browsing and hey put that on for a minute. I'm gonna see what that's about. And I think I got to the part where spoilers. He like cuts the girl upside, like cuts her in half, like from bottom to top. And I think we stopped there. But ever since then, I kind of had the impression, and you can let me know how accurate it is or not, that Terrifier is really more or less just gore, porn, shock value, like as a movie. And I don't know to what degree that differentiates it for something like Friday the 13th or Michael Myers, or any of that. I don't, or if it might just be like the more extreme version of that. But it was almost like, I don't know. It was, like I said before, I'll pretty much watch anything, but I have a hard time justifying something, like watching something that I don't feel like has a point other than to just try and shock me. Even Saw, you could say, like, I've seen all the Saw movies, and even in those, there's an element of that, but there is like an overarching storyline of Jigsaw, his story, what his motivation is, wanting people to like value life, and yada yada yada. I didn't watch enough into Terrifier that there may be something like that, but that was just my first impression, and so after that, I was kind of turned off by it, generally speaking. But you can let me know if that's a reasonable response or not. Terrifier, yes, all the gore you would want for it's gore porn, yeah. We will be doing Scary Movie very soon. Did you put Jen in timeout when she said she didn't like Galaxy Quest? Well, thank you for that super chat, but no. And that's Galaxy Quest is a kind of a good example of us being authentic. Like Galaxy Quest was a Spielberg tier, like somebody paid for that to watch that one specifically, for us to watch that one specifically. And so, we have basically decided, and we have always decided, but it's just reiterated because this is like a different circumstance, that we're just going to be authentic during those movies, no matter what. So even if a Spielberg tier pays, we're not going to, embellish it or pretend if we really don't feel that way. And that's an example of it just not being something for Jen. She just didn't really care for, and got a lot of people that like really hated that. And some people were even like, I'm unsubscribing. That's fine. We're going to be authentic no matter what. And I applaud Jen for giving her honest opinion, even if it wasn't the popular opinion. And, we respect each other enough to be like, and this is a movie, guys. So I'm talking as though this is like some deep thing. It's really not. But like, hey, I loved Galaxy Quest. Totally cool that you don't. And it kind of be, the end of that. But you get people, this isn't any of y'all, I'm sure. But, people that will comment like insulting her, or, it's not even about like the review of the movie anymore. It's like personal attacks, and we don't really put up with that. I'm like totally cool with people criticizing or critiquing like something that we say or do, or whatever. Like people will criticize us constantly for like talking during an important scene, for example. I totally get that. Keep in mind, we watch every movie with subtitles, so we are able to catch things actually before they even say them. No, I did not put her in timeout. I respected her opinion, even if it was a different opinion than mine. Highly recommend Dragon Ball Z Kai for when you and Jen start watching. Less episodes, much better pacing, and much more accurate to the manga. Yeah, this is a point of concern for me, because I watched obviously the Funimation Toonami run of Dragon Ball Z with the American music, and as much as I am like a purist for most like media of like I want to watch Dragon Ball Z and the original aspect ratio. I want to watch it in the original everything. The music in Dragon Ball Z is probably the one area that I think the American version is superior. You're telling me you're going back to like Goku becoming a Super Saiyan for the first time, and you hear that Bruce Falconer score. and it just is like immaculate. It's perfect. It hits on beat with the transformation and the "I won't let you get away with this," or all that. And then you go to the Japanese music, and it's like da 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 da. That's a hard sell for me, man. So anyway, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z Kai, I like it in theory in that it's like shorter. They redub it so that it's like a more accurate, more updated dub. Totally get that. Totally respect that. But man, I struggle with the music. Okay, just being honest. And I've seen it in every version. So it's not just I'm stuck on my American music ways. I have watched it in the Japanese too. But that's just my opinion. My opinion on that. Do you? Thank you for that super chat, man. Do you like The Last Starfighter? Do I think The Last Starfighter should be rebooted? I have no dog in that fight because I haven't seen Starfighter. So you might have to ask somebody else who's more informed on that one, to be honest with you. Are you into home automation? I've seen your other home project videos and thought you might be. I'm not sure what you're meaning exactly, but I do like tech, like kind of helping out in like the day-to-day lives, if that's what you mean. Like if you mean like, hey, Siri, turn on the lights or something, and it turns on, that's fine-ish. I'm kind of halfway between like I really like stuff like that, and also I don't really see the purpose in having my refrigerator connected to the Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? And so I'm stuck between those two things. But yeah, I mean, I love technology, and we have like we were sponsored by Dream, which were like this little robot vacuum cleaner like 3 years ago, and I still use it. So like I love stuff like that, that I can have like work and do tasks for me while I'm doing something else. So thank you, Edu Morales. Galaxy Quest rewatch. Yeah, I'd love to do that one. Maybe Matt wouldn't like it. Who am I kidding? Love the vids, man. Will you ever get around to watch Warfare? I don't see why not. It's one of those that is not like heavily requested, but I'm not opposed to doing something like that or doing Warfare. Would a tier like the Spielberg tier allow me to ask for y'all to play a game? I have a few options, games and movies, and just want to know what I can ask for. Well, Spielberg tier is really exclusive for movies, because we're trying to keep in mind that it's like 2 hours worth of shoot time, 6 hours worth of edit time, either me personally or having one of the editors do it. With oftentimes the expectation that the video itself won't perform well, so we wouldn't really be monetizing much on the back end anyway. So it really just kind of covers us in that regard. So we've talked about doing a TV show tiers, or in this case, a game tier. So keep that in mind. So like if you were to get like the Spielberg tier and request us to play like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes 80 hours to complete, probably not. But I'm not opposed to something kind of being in that time frame, or even like it being up for discussion, like how we can do certain things. How's the garage cinema going? Great. We're actually, Prime's coming over tomorrow, or he should be coming over tomorrow. So I'm going to actually have him help me take the screen down and then do it a little bit lower and probably move the actual projector back a little bit. It was really hard. You can't tell in like the time lapse that I did, but that took me forever to assemble, and it's really big, awkward, and extremely heavy. So I was actually worried I was going to fall down like trying to get it up. And by some miracle, I put it up there. And of course, in the time lapse, I just put it together and hang it up, and it's done. But it was actually really challenging. So I don't feel comfortable even trying to do it alone again. So when he comes over, I'll have an extra pair of hands. And I also want to tighten it up too, because I didn't really know what I was doing the first time. So you could actually see, I think even in the vlog, waves in the screen. So we can, there's like these little bolts on the inside that will tighten it and kind of fix that too. So I want to do that as well. Let's see. Have you seen There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis? No. I've seen Gangs of New York. Let me double check. Sometimes I get movies mixed up. There Will Be Blood. No, I haven't seen it. I have not seen it, but I've heard great things. Thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. You need to go back to Japan, Holden, for at least a week. Akihabara would be your favorite place for tech stuff. I cannot wait to go back to Japan, man. This gotta be the most cliche thing ever. Bearded white guy that loves Japan. I'm wearing a Japan shirt. I got this on my trip. But the reality is, man, that I loved it. And Jen, who had no prior desire to really go to Japan or visit it outside of like me talking about it, and then going, she really enjoyed it and wants to go back. So I can't wait to go back, to be honest with you. I don't see it in the immediate future. It's really expensive, and we got like the cheapest flights and like cheapest like everything possible. But yeah, I can't wait to go back. Shout out to the Pop Culture Christian. Thank you. So I gotta do some more videos on there. I was mentioning earlier that Gus showed me an episode of The Chosen. I filmed that back in November with the intention of putting it on the Pop Culture Christian channel, and I have not edited yet. I've been majorly dragging my feet on that, but I will be. Thank you so much, man. Hopefully you've enjoyed those videos. Have you all seen The Walking Dead? Also, Get Hard is one of Will Ferrell's better movies with Kevin Hart. I know Jen's not the biggest fan of him. Yeah, I actually haven't seen Get Hard, but I remember when the trailer came out for it, it looked really funny. I like Will Ferrell and I like Kevin Hart. I know a lot of people don't like Kevin Hart anymore and whatever, but I still think he's funny. I have no beef with him. So I actually wouldn't mind watching that just on my own. Has Jen seen Old, the one directed by M. Night Shyamalan? Yes, we both seen Old, actually. Do you think making home theatrical release should become more common for more new releases? That's a tough question because home theatrical releases are going to put theaters out of business just long run. I mean, it just will. If I can rent, even if it's temporary, rent Sinners for $25 or $30 at home, which is still a lot of money for only being able to watch it within 48 hours. But the alternative is I go to the movie theater, and let's say my tickets are under that. They're $10 each, so it's $20 for like me and Jen, let's say. I'm going to probably spend more than that on concessions. And even if I go like the frugal route and not buy concessions and just go to the movie, it sucks being at the movies without like a popcorn or even like a little kiddie thing, which are still like $10 now or something. So, and that's just me and Jen. So $30 for us just to watch at home makes a lot of sense. And if you add more people to that, like if there was like a home theatrical release of like the next Marvel movie and it's like $30, they tested this with Black Widow. If you remember on Disney Plus, you could buy it in theaters and in theatrical release, you could rent it for like $30. We did that, and so if you have more than two people, it makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, I love the movie theaters. I love the theater experience. That's just special to me. But the reality is that that's becoming less and less common. More people are satisfied with not going to the movies and not having that experience. So I'm trying to be realistic in the sense that like the future probably will be home theatrical releases, and just facing that as a reality. Just like many people online are probably struggling to face the reality that AI is becoming so much a part of and it will be becoming even more so a part of our everyday lives. And as much as I want to kick and scream and fight it, and the theater guys, come on, the reality is that it's probably going to be an inevitability, no matter how I personally feel about it. We have not watched Akira yet, Michael Connor, and that will be that's on our list to do. We have like an anime list right now, or anime collection on Patreon. We have My Neighbor Totoro and Ghost in the Shell, and Akira and Spirited Away are two that we're going to be doing at some point, and they'll be over there as well. Have you seen Flight? Yes, Jen and I have both seen Flight with Denzel Washington. Liked your video on the bathroom remodel. Thank you. That was for the Papples, and the bathrooms are still doing really good. That was actually, as I was doing the garage renovation, I even mentioned it, I stopped to do that bathroom remodel. So there was like a long gap in the garage renovation or garage cleaning up video because of that. And I know that they were super grateful for that. And a lot of you didn't know. I mentioned this on Patreon because really it was the patrons who funded like half of it. And I didn't ask anybody publicly, like on the regular YouTube channel, to contribute to that. But so they paid for about half of it. So I told them that one of the wonderful collateral effects of their donation is not just remodeling the bathroom, but Amy Papple ended up getting the house reappraised shortly after, and she had been putting it off and off and off because the bathrooms were so destroyed, essentially. And so she got it reappraised, and her home insurance dropped by like $10,000 a year or something like that. Like this huge, like, which is $10,000 a year is what, like $800 a month difference. I mean, it was a huge amount. I was actually surprised. I couldn't believe that they were paying as much as they were. Absurd for the house that they have and how long that they've had that policy. I find that just to be completely ridiculous. But that was one of the additional blessings in disguise. Not only did they get that bathroom remodel, but their monthly, like they're going to be able to say, Amy got like really emotional with it, and I didn't film her obviously for any of this. I didn't think that was appropriate, but she got really emotional talking about like how they're able to, they can save up now, and like Benji, he's a teacher at like a local like rural high school, and she works at a local church, doing like with kids, so they're not rolling in money. So that's $800 a month on top of, a free, bathroom remodel is huge. It's a huge blessing. I'm so grateful that I was able to facilitate some of that. Holden, you should react to standalone DC movies like Batman Year One, The Dark Knight Returns, and Under the Red Hood with Jen. They are amazing. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We're planning to do some of those movies, at least Under the Red Hood, which I talked about earlier, on the channel after the DC AMU, which we're kind of, they don't really do all that well, to be honest, and there's a lot of them. So, but yeah, I would definitely love to do those unrelated ones down the line. I really want to do Scott Pilgrim soon. Is Squid Game's season 3 coming anytime soon? Yes. It will be, pretty much all of it will be this week. We have already filmed it all. It was only 6 episodes, so it was a little bit more manageable on our part. And I'm having some of the editors all kind of contribute to different episodes to be able to crank them out as fast as possible. The full-length reactions will be starting to pop up tomorrow on Patreon if you want to watch the full things with us. And then the edited versions, I'm probably going to have episodes 1 and 2 posted likely tomorrow. But yeah. Have you seen any of these thinner horror thriller employee of the month extract? No, I haven't seen any of those. Well, I feel bad that you gave a $10 super chat, and my answer is just no broadly. But thank you so much, What About Bob, for another incredibly wonderful super chat, man. I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to go ahead and get sign off, guys. It's been about an hour and a half, hour 40 on here. I got a little bit of editing to do in preparation for Squid Game tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Don't forget that this was in part a fundraiser for Natalie. Her sister, Natalie, she does the reactions with Jen from time to time, and her sister passed away yesterday after a long fight with cancer. And they have a GoFundMe for funeral costs and just helping out the family during this time. So that would be a great way to, that would be very, very helpful. There's a link up there at the top of on top of the chat there. It's pinned by me. So if you're wanting to do that, that would be very, very wonderful. But that's it for now, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and have this live stream posted onto the channel. So leave a general comment. It takes, I think, a minute to process. But once that's done, go ahead and do that. And I'll try to respond to a couple more of those if you didn't get a question answered or anything. But that's it, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for the wonderful super chats and the wonderful engagement. Hopefully you enjoyed some of my stories and me just chatting here, and hopefully you didn't find it too boring. But that's it for now, guys. I'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.